If you want to know what qualities you should look in a good leader, one place you might want to check is Dr. Donald Palmisano's new book called The Little Red Book of Leadership Lessons. It is a collection of quotes from people who have already learned some of those lessons, some the hard way, some easier than others. One of them is Dr. Palmisano, the former president of the American Medical Association, and he joins us now with more on the book. And first of all, the book you have forwarded by Governor Bobby Jindal. How do you rate Governor Jindal as a leader?
Oh, I think Governor Jindal is a tremendous leader, and he's somebody that gets results. He's somebody who's very smart. He can think on his feet, and he's not afraid of questions. So I'm a big fan of him, of Bobby Jindal. The important thing to look for in a leader is look at the results, not what people say, but what they do.
And you cross party lines in your book. I mean, you have quotes from all kinds of leaders, regardless party or political belief or anything like that.
Absolutely. And good ideas are not limited to any political party or any country. And the important thing to do is to have freedom. The book is a book of ideas, ideas devoted to economic liberty, leadership quotes that lead to liberty, because I believe America is the greatest country the world has ever seen, and we see people who have come from distant shores to our great land, and I go through the elements of leadership. In other words, you have to do your homework, you have to have courage, you have to be able to make a decision, and you don't give up. It must be persistence.
And we were talking about one of the greatest leaders this country has ever seen, Abraham Lincoln. The current movie out about him,
yes,
called Lincoln, shows the kind of underside of how a great leader does move and makes decisions that he knows are right, but doesn't have necessarily the support to get it.
Well, a true leader makes what he or she believes is the right decision based on the evidence available, and then moves forward. You can't be worried about the opinion of others. You can't be a social metaphysician.
And it shows politics is kind of messy when you want to get things
done. Well, politics can be very messy, but one of the most important things to look for in a politician is look for someone who tells you the truth. And I have the opportunity in this book to give you some long quotes, one of which is the famous summation in the Nazi war criminals trial by Robert Jackson, a United States Supreme Court justice who was tapped to go and be the prosecutor before the three judges of these Nazi war criminals. And he pointed out how they were not the master race, but the master of lies. And they said, oh, well, we're going to send the Chancellor of Austria to a villa to rest. Well, that villa was Buchenwald concentration camp, a mess of lies. And I think you'll love that summation that he did, because it's just masterful.
And when we look at today's situation with the so-called fiscal cliff, we look at a lot of lawmakers in Washington who have not been leaders and have gotten us in this situation where we are. And now it's going to take real leadership to get us out of this.
Absolutely. In the afterword of the book, I point out that we can't keep spending more money than we're taking in. And as far as what we give away to other countries, we have to reassess that. We have to understand why we're getting into a war. We know that we have to get into some wars. Pearl Harbor is a perfect example. The dastardly attack on December 7th, 1941 at Pearl Harbor. But we have to understand why we're there, because we're losing Americans, our blood and treasure. And I visit memorials, I visit cemeteries where our wonderful, heroic warriors are buried in foreign lands. And we must never forget that freedom is not free, and we don't want to put our people in harm's way.
And you've got some great quotes in this book. I'm sure you had to do a lot of editing to keep, there's so many good quotes over the years, but it's full of good quotes, and a great book that maybe every leader in this country should take a look at.
Well, I would certainly hope so.
All right, Dr. Palmisano will be signing copies of his new book called The Little Red Book of Leadership Lessons from 5:30 this afternoon till 7 tonight at the Garden District Bookshop. That's at 2727 Britannia at Washington. If you'd like more information, you can call the bookstore at 895-2266.